Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm gonna give my overall thoughts on Sonic Mania without giving it a proper review yet. Don't worry, a review will come one day, but I'm not at the point in the franchise where I'd feel comfortable doing it. I would just be skipping ahead of other major 2D Sonics like CD and Sonic 4 and actually that's it, just those two. Plus, I'm just not fond of doing reviews of brand new games unless I know that I'm gonna be as thorough as you guys have come to expect from me. As such, this will be a rambly-pambly discussion video, sort of like what I did with Uncharted 4 last year, and what I might do with Lost Legacy later this year, if I even have time to play that one. Don't worry, there won't be any major spoilers, I'm only showing the first few stages of the game on screen. There may be vague spoilers as I describe some boss fights and such, so you've been warned. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but this is the best Sonic game I've ever played. Well, that's not entirely true, I keep going back and forth in my head between this and Generations, but this is absolutely the best 2D Sonic in my opinion. What makes this so impressive before I go into more detail is that I usually have a negative opinion of the 2D Sonic games the first time I play through them. I hated Sonic 1, and only when it came time for the review did I lighten up a little bit. I did not care for Sonic 2 at all, and then when I reviewed it, it started to shine as one of the best sequels of all time. I didn't care for Sonic 3 all that much, and then when I reviewed it and Knuckles together, the package just sort of clicked with me. Mania leans closer to Knuckles in that I loved them both in my first go-through, but Mania never dragged. 3 and Knuckles is just about as long as Mania, but it felt twice as long. Partway in, I just had to sort of put it down and come back later. With Mania, I was constantly ready for more. The stages felt intricately designed to encourage both speed and exploration in just the right amounts, with a few exceptions here and there. I liked this game's flying battery more than I did the original flying battery, but at times it still felt a bit too slow for my tastes. But it was pretty much exclusively flying battery and Hydrocity, whatever you want to call it, that didn't feel up to my personal standards. Even those levels felt fairly designed. You can legitimately skip almost all of the water in Hydrocity, whatever you want to call it, and work your way on land, or at least it felt that way. So I couldn't stay mad at the game like I felt I could in the original version. Enemy placement is sometimes that usual gotcha style that 2D Sonic loves, but very quickly I found myself able to prepare for enemies that I didn't actually know were coming. I don't know what it was, but I just wasn't blindsided as much in this game as I was in any of the original trilogy, or CD for that matter. Everything in this game was just so absorbable that by the second time through each level, I already felt like a pro. That didn't really happen to me that much on the Genesis. Also, I want you to take note of one thing. I said the second time through. As of the time of this recording, I've played Sonic Mania more than once. I haven't finished it more than once, but I've beaten it, gotten all the Chaos Emeralds, and then immediately I started it back up again, this time as Knuckles. I didn't do that in Sonic 3. I played like a level as Knuckles just to get an idea of what he was like for the review, but it never grabbed me. Sonic Mania, well, it grabbed me. Everything about the game just feels like a perfect step up from the previous games. I mean, I'd hope so, it's been over 20 years since the last major 2D Sonic game, Shut Up 4 doesn't count, even Sega acknowledges that, but still, the fact that Christian Whitehead and the whole team of fans-turned-modders-turned-developers understood what the issues were with the classic games and refined accordingly, that's just wonderful to me. I love this game's special stages. I never thought I'd really say that, but there it is. This game's special stages are these awesome 3D courses where you run through the level, picking up blue orbs to up your speed like the half-pipes in Sonic 2, while chasing a UFO like the special stages in Sonic CD. This, in the absolute best way possible, feels like what a Sonic game would have felt like on the Sega Saturn. The graphics are just this perfect blend of old school and modern, the levels are tough but fair, and it all just left me smiling the whole way through. This is the first 2D Sonic game where I got all the Chaos Emeralds. I mean, I did do it in 3 and Knuckles, but I didn't get all the Master Emeralds after that, so that doesn't really count. Speaking of 3 and Knuckles, the special stages from that game return as the bonus stages that you can enter by crossing checkpoints with over a certain number of rings. I liked these in 3, but for some unknown reason, I adore them here. Again, they feel fair but tough, and there are so many of them too. Completing these either unlocks you a silver medal once you get all the blue orbs, or a gold medal if you collect all the possible rings in a level first. These coins unlock extra stuff like the ability to use moves from other Sonic games instead of Mania's Drop Dash, or the already famous and Knuckles mode which allows you to play Knuckles and Knuckles. I mean, come on, that is perfect! The Drop Dash, by the way, is this game's replacement for Sonic CD's Super Peel Out and Sonic 3's Insta Shield. As Sonic, by holding the jump button in midair, you can charge up a spin dash and then jet forward once you hit the ground. This isn't a big addition, but god, is it a good one. You never have to slow down if you don't want to because of this. It's just another fantastic addition to the Sonic formula. There are obviously a few issues here and there. Some enemies later on start having some nebulous attack patterns which, while cool, don't really seem to matter. In general, some of the newer enemies are a bit on the easy side, but that's more than made up for by the bosses, which are some of my favorite in the entire franchise, 2D or 3D. From fighting tiny versions of old Eggman bosses as Tiny Sonic, to fighting long-forgotten Sonic characters as phases of a Wild West showdown, to playing Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine against Eggman, this game has so many amazing callbacks, it hurts. It consistently tries and succeeds at subverting your expectations in the best way possible. I feel so weird praising a Sonic game this much. Like, that's not a joke or a Sonic's bad. It's legitimately new to me that I'm gushing this much about Sonic. Also, shout out to the rain and the thunder. You're gonna hear that probably for the next rest of this video, so hope you're ready for moist. I've never shied away about my thoughts on the franchise, or my very strong opinion that Sonic Adventure 2 is horrendous, or the fact that Sonic 1 was apparently my first game and that I repressed that memory for 20 years, or that Generations, the anniversary game, made me a fan of the Blue Blur. I've laid it all out there many times before, but Mania completely outdid itself. Does it have some bugs? Yes, the wonderful bug where you get crushed on nothing sometimes still happen in this game, and my as of now only fight with the true final boss was sort of dampened by the music cutting out entirely. Does it sort of feel a bit redundant at times with a bunch of zones just reusing old level themes and adding new design? Yes, maybe a little bit, but honestly, I couldn't care less. Sonic Mania hit it out of the park, and I can only assume, going by my Sonic trend, that whenever I get around to reviewing it, my critical stance may be even more positive than my personal one here. If you're at all considering it, buy this game. If Generations made me a fan, Mania made me a fan for life. So, what's Sonic got in store next? Nope, I'm out. See you later. Bye-bye.
I'm the toughest of terrors, I am the darkest of days. I'm the last one that's standing, don't try to stand in my way. Cause I've been up against better, just take a look at my face. Cause if you're messing with me, I am a dangerous